Explain this to us. Samir Geagea crossing the aisle from your side to endorse Michel Aoun. How do you feel about it?
Oh, personally, I don't mind. I think borders have been crossed quite often over the past 10 to 15 years. And this is a welcome development in the sense that it reshuffles the cards and brings some sanity to a completely deadlocked situation.
Reshuffles the cards when it comes to this presidential election, or more generally, redraws the lines of who's in the opposition and who's with the majority?
Well, the concepts of opposition and majority are not quite the same as any other country in the world. So it's true that there is a reshuffling of the card, which seems to be important in the country because the two former enemies, the worst enemies amongst the Christian factions, have allied themselves behind the candidacy of one of them. But there is a problem which is deeper, and that's a structural problem, which suggests that even this very dramatic development may not get us out of the woods in terms of the incredible void in the presidency and in the institutions that we've witnessed.
Why is that? Why wouldn't it get you out of the void? Doesn't it tip the scales? I know that Parliament's due to convene on February the 8th. Will it not be a formality?
Well, I hope it isn't. But you see, the main problem, I think, is not so much the appearance of the renewed alignments. What I think has been a major problem in Lebanon is the constitutional interpretation, which is completely absurd because the interpretation has gone along the line that unless one of the candidates has more than 2/3 majority in parliament, there is simply no election. So we've been stumbling from date to date with a small minority of deputies just not showing up on the day of the elections because they know that their mere absence is going to torpedo the election. So what we are hoping
So spell it out for us. Who's not going to show up?
Now,
Who's not going to show up on February the 8th?
Oh, it's easy. If Mr. Hariri doesn't want to show up, if Mr. Jumblat doesn't want to show up because they don't want to see Mr. Aoun elected, then they just stay at home and then there is no election.
And you're saying that might happen?
Well, that's likely to happen at the moment. So I think because you see there is another candidate that they had agreed on, Jumblat and Hariri, together with a third acolyte, which is Mr. Birri. And that was Mr. Frangieh, and that was about a month ago. And suddenly everybody hoped, like we're hoping today, that the presidential deadlock would be solved. But then we were confronted with this impossible constitutional interpretation. And so it was sufficient for a small group, namely in that case, those two characters who allied themselves yesterday, to say, no, we don't want to elect Mr. Frangieh, for the whole process to go back to all
right, so we're not out of the woods yet. This situation had been completely deadlocked since May of 2014. Some are suggesting that with the falling price of oil, there's less Saudi money to back the Hariri side, that the Iran deal means that maybe Iran is going to rethink how it backs Hezbollah. Do you think that foreign considerations are weighing on the matter?
They definitely weigh on the matter. This is what I call the over-determined situation in Lebanon. It's over-determined by the regional and international alignments. And as you well know, we have our own Shi'i-Sunni alignments that we see operating now in Lebanon as a continued blockage. So there is this dimension, and of course the regional situation is still very tense, so it doesn't help. But I do think that the most important problem is one which is constitutional, and that is an interpretation where no country in the world could get elected its prime minister or its president with such insane supermajorities needed.
So there should be a rethink of the rules.
Well, the rules are clear. It's just the interpretation that has prevailed forcefully until now, and that is an interpretation which goes against the grain of any constitutional common sense. The texts are very clear to my mind, and we can go through them. It's a bit boring. But the basic common sense is that you can't have any country run if you set in impossible majorities where the mere absence of deputies or a small group of deputies torpedoes the institution. It is this structural, constitutional, insane interpretation that has blocked us time and again for the past 10, 15 years in Lebanon. It's not the first time, and so long as the interpretation is done with a near consensus to get anything done in the country, neither the garbage nor the presidency can be solved in the country.
All right, Chibli Mallat, many thanks for joining us from Beirut.